Oof, the devil pops out front and center. Three of Pentacles. Page of Wands. Watch out for someone that you are surrounded with in work at this time. There's someone here that's a little devilish. Page of Wands is very flirty. But just be aware that this person is nothing but flirtation. There's nothing else. There's nothing else going on with this person. He likes to play with his wand. That's his forefront importance in his life right now. 10 of Pentacles. He invests a lot of his time and energy on this, on himself, on the physical nature of life and relationship. This person doesn't do anything else but that. He might do a lot of this at his work. A page could be a male or a female, so it could be his or her work scenario. The what's the term? They shit where they eat kind of thing. It's a very precarious situation to put yourself in. But hey, to each their own, whatever you want to do in life. But you have to realize that there's consequences that happen when you get involved with people at your workplace, especially if somewhere that you work long term. It can get really hairy and weird fast when you date people flippantly. Yes, of course, there's romances and loves that occur in your workforce because you're there most of the time. If you work full time, of course, you're going to start, there's a term called propinquity, where the longer that we spend time with people around us, the greater the chances that we become attracted to them. And it doesn't even matter if they're good looking to you or not. Just sheer closeness and ongoing connection with people actually makes your brain think that you're more attracted to him that you are. It's a pair bonding that we do subconsciously. So whoever that we're around the most, we become more attracted to naturally, right? So if there's a person here that's in a Page of Wands energy anyway, they're very flirtatious, they like to get around, they get bored easily because they're just tasting the rainbow, let's say. It's a very devilish kind of energy. There's obsession, there's addiction, right? This person might be addicted to physical intimacy, but with the Three of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, they put a lot of time and energy just into that. I don't know why someone would put so much energy into stuff that's so shallow. I mean, of course you get benefit from it, but it's mentally shallow, right? It's skin deep. That's it, and it's concerning when people think that that's making them feel fulfilled fully, because obviously your cup never gets full in this strategy. With the devil here, the devil is never satisfied. You can't, if you start messing with this guy, you can't get away, right? It's an addiction. It's a constant nagging at you. Anyone that has been addicted to anything knows that there's like an inner nagging that happens, because any kind of addiction in any kind of form, there's something missing inside, right? And in order to distract yourself and disassociate to whatever is making you feel unwell or dissatisfied in life or disappointed or scared or angry or whatever the thing is that you're trying to ignore through addiction, basically, it's filling up a cup with, I don't know, like if you're trying to fill your cup up with water, because water is the most important element here, love, emotions, intuition. If you fill it up with something flippant like soda tastes good. Is it healthy for you long term? No. You can get a lot of bad things that happen. You can get diabetes. You can get, there's a lot of things that happen when you drink sugar water constantly, right? But it's fun to do in the moment. It tastes good, but like if you start drinking soda every day, it's addicting because now you're addicted to the sugar, but you're also addicted to bad things and you're doing it to yourself on purpose. So yes, it could feel good, and yes, it could be satisfying in a flash of a moment, of course. But there's what else? what else with this person, you know? So you have to be wary about people that lead with this. Of course, we're human beings. We always lead with our outside first, where we become attracted physically to people first. Normally, sometimes you can become attracted to someone through propinquity, but like I was saying, if you're constantly around them or if you're friends with them, you can develop feelings for them, true feelings, through time and learning someone. You know, that's an attraction from the inside out. You know, and the outside appearance actually becomes more attractive to you. You know, have you ever been attracted to someone that isn't, quote unquote, the normal vision of what attraction looks like to our society? And then you become attracted to them through other things, through your connection, through your interactions, through the person's mind, how they think, what they say, how they make you feel, how you laugh with them, whatever it is, right? You start to develop feelings for people like that. And now all of a sudden they look more attractive to you too. Right? Because you're not just attracted to the outside skin, you know, like wardrobe or how the person looks or how tall they are, whatever it is that you're normally attracted to physically. It goes way beyond that, way deeper when you learn someone, right, from the inside out. This person doesn't seem to be doing that route. They're going surface level. 10 of Wands pops out along with the 10 of Pentacles. It's so give and take. It's so give and take. So, you know, that's something that you have to be wary of with certain people, men or women. They can love bomb you. They could dangle carrots in front of your face about who they are. You know, they can pretend to be whoever they are in a short-term fashion. It's fun. It's like, look at me. I'm going to pretend to be someone that I'm not, or I'm not going to show you who I am. I'm not going to give it time, right? So the 10 of Pentacles is kind of like dangling carrots, 7:07 on the clock, and you know, dangling the carrot of I'm someone that you think I am, but I'm really not that person. I'm, you know, gonna show myself as someone stable or a deep or something, right? Something that you can kind of connect to and respect, right? But this person is not like that. And you always hear from men, especially when they're complaining about what they don't get out of a relationship. It's huge to feel respected to them. And likely so, you know, like you should respect your man or your woman. You absolutely should. And that goes beyond physical chemistry. That's actual respect for a human being. And when someone actually feels that, especially a man, women need respect too in a lot of other ways, for sure. But we're speaking to a man right now. You want to feel respected, but you're not doing respectful actions, right? So he's going to put on a mask to show the opposite sex or whoever he's dating that I'm going to portray myself this way, but I'm not really doing anything to be respected for, if that makes sense. You know, so this person thinks that sleeping with a lot of people, Page of Wands, you know, gains respect for himself internally. It fills a hole, okay, no pun intended, for a while. But like there's the 10 of Wands that comes right next to the 10 of Pentacles, which is interesting here because that means defeat. That means tiredness. That means being played out. You know, this person plays out the fantasy that they portray. Here it is. Okay, so there's the fantasy of the 10 of Pentacles, and then all of a sudden the 10 of Wands comes, and it's just like, nope, actually that was false. It was all a dream. It was all a dream. It was all a fantasy. You know, like you subscribe to my fantasy blog posts, and you know, now the story's over. So you have to worry about people like that, you know, because obviously a guy in his devil energy is going to do that. It's front and center here, right? The devil is front and center here. So you have to be wary about people that are doing that. You just got to be careful of that. You have the tower on the bottom of the deck right now when I looked. This person creates towers for themselves, right? So you don't want to be next to this building that's about to crumble. It's a hazard. if you want to live in a hazardous state, whether it's a male or female that you're around, that just, you know, it's a dangerous hazard, right? it could be fun, you would think it's fun. Maybe you're attracted to the intrigue of that, but lo and behold, if you're standing too close to this tower, it's going to fall. And it takes a good sprint to get away from the tower. Without getting any rubble on you, any dusty energy. Wheel of Fortune, right? You got to roll with the punches, unfortunately, and that means just okay. I'm gonna take some kind of, there's something here that I'm seeing, like you're driving in a car, right? The wheels are turning in your car. If someone cut you off in traffic, right? We all have traffic laws that we obey when there's like a multiple lane road, like a 3-lane road, right? We all know the rules of the road. We're supposed to obey them so everyone stays safe and everyone expects to know what's going to happen with cars. But if you take that analogy and put that into your life as you're driving a car and like you're talking to people, but there's unknown rules that you would think people would all obey, is like love, respect, kindness, all that stuff, but that's not the case all the time with people. So if someone just automatically or out of nowhere cuts you off, right? Like they make a strong left turn, they cut you off in traffic, or they do something that you didn't expect them to do, right? Would you, in that scenario in your car, be like, oh, it's okay, he or she was probably just confused? Maybe there's a chance of that, but usually what people do is start yelling profanities and getting angry because they were just cut off. They were surprised over an action that someone took that they weren't expecting, right? So it's kind of the same energy that I'm getting. It's like, okay, well, you always have to give the possibility, yeah, there are confused people out on the road of life, and they really don't know what they're doing, and they're breaking things along the way, and they have no idea that they're doing it. It's still a hazard, right? So whether or not the intention is bad, or they just are stupid and they don't even know what they're doing, or distracted. Some people can just have a really bad day and be really upset, and they shouldn't be driving. They're completely distracted. Have you ever been on the road and your mind goes off into a thought and you completely forget that you're driving? You actually can forget where you're going sometimes, right? So being that dislocated, I want to use, but if you're not paying attention to what's actually happening, and you can't just be like, well, it's okay, maybe that person had a bad day. Yeah, sure, still a hazard to you. That's what I was trying to get here. Like, you have to forgive people, but just like if someone if you constantly met someone on the road, then it was the same driver, and you knew the car, and you knew the person driving behind it, right? And you had to see them on the road every single morning. Even after they cut you off, and maybe you forgave them, being like, oh, maybe they had a bad day, whatever excuse you want to give someone, you still would be cautious to be around that car, right? Oh, they might hit my car again because they're stupid, they're not paying attention, or they're too distracted in life, or they actually are like someone that has road rage and they just do it on purpose. They like cutting people off on purpose. It's like fun to them. They think they're a race car driver of life, whatever. So take it as you will. But if you still knew the person was hazardous, you'd kind of stay away from it, right? So take it as such. You're not driving a car, you're walking around, right? So if someone is hazardous to you, you kind of just stay away on purpose. The Two of Swords is making that decision, making the right decision. Two of Swords. Do I go this way? Do I go that way? Do I deal with this? Do I put myself in hazardous situation? Or do I protect my safety, right? So that can happen in relationship in a lot of different ways, because the more we get involved with people on a physical basis, we do contract certain things from them. We contract their energy. We're sharing energy at the end of the day, right? And there's a lot of feelings involved with that energy, but it's energy exchange. So whether or not you're with someone on a serious way, on a one night stand kind of way, you have to be wary about people that you share your energy with, especially that kind of energy, because you can develop things from the other person that you don't even realize that you're taking in. It's not just physicalness, it's person's general essence, right? You can have a sexually transmitted demon that comes from somebody that is just using you, right? Like you think it's surface level, but every single time that you involve yourself with someone like that, you're taking in their energy and you're sharing it, right? So if you don't like the person's energy without even being next to them, you know, and you think it's just going to be this flippant activity, no, you're dirtying your waters every time you share water with somebody. So you have to be wary about that for yourself, and you have to be wary about that with other people that you involve yourself in, because even if you're not out there sharing your cup with everyone all the time, and the other person is, they're a lot more convoluted than you right now. Their energy is so all over the place because they don't even know whose energy is whose. You take on so much and you think it's all yours. Sometimes it's not, right? It goes to show, like, when some people have been together for a very long time and one person steps out of the relationship and starts searching for whatever they need outside of that, the other person feels it, like, on an intrinsic level. Their bodies are matched, their cells have been combined, you know, their psychicness is attached to each other, and that's through our bodies. So if you think it's not important, you know, just got to be wary, because even if you're not the one around, you know, sharing your cup, overflowing with everybody, you know, like you're sharing the same cup with like 20 people in the same room. Ugh, gross, you know? So this person might be doing a lot of that in a work scenario. To go back to the front row here. It's kind of incestuous, I want to call it, where like there's a whole bunch of coworkers that just are incestuous with each other. They're not actually related to each other. They're like related through work, but it's still gross, because if you kiss one of them, they've kissed each other. So you've kissed everyone else basically in an energetic string. So if you don't think that there's strings that are attached to everyone, just be wary, because this person might have a lot of strings attached. You might have a lot of strings attached to them. The 5 of Cups. Saying goodbye to that energy. You got to say goodbye to that energy. What else we got? The Knight of Pentacles. Going from the Page of Wands to the Knight of Pentacles is a level up, I would say, if on who you're choosing to be with. And the King of Swords, choosing rightly, choosing with a good head on your shoulders, right? Making really decisive decisions. We have the 2 of Swords and the King of Swords. This is like razor sharp decision making, and that's gonna help you just with your time and energy and who you really want to share things with, because remind yourself that there's someone here that is just around a lot of cups and a lot of dirty water happening, right? So it's just kind of gross if you don't want to involve yourself with, you know, that many people's energy, especially if it's really close together to one another. These, you know, like you can have a guy that kind of just has a rotating door. So the more people that he involves himself with, the more he dirties his waters. And when it's so close together, like if a guy's like dating like 4 girls at the same time and they come over like right after each other, the energy is so, it's just kind of like nasty. Like it's kind of like, ew, like you just stepped in like a pile of, with your bare feet, you know? So it's just like, ew, like this is kind of gross, because 1, you're not getting the actual attention and respect that you deserve. 2, he's not respecting himself, because he's just sharing too much with too many people, you know, and that's kind of confusing, convoluted. It's just hazardous, like we were saying. And then I forgot what the third one is now, because my mind just went off. It's just too much energy that you're getting involved in. So you have to make the decisions on who you invest in. It's not to judge people in any way. Like if people just think that they're more indestructible than they are when it comes to like one night stands and these situationships that people do, it's just a waste of time and energy. It makes you become obsessed. We have the devil, remember, front and center here. He's not messing around. He doesn't mess around, and he messes around with you. So as soon as you invite the devil over for dinner, It's a done deal. Like, this person will never get his fill because it's devilish behavior. You never satisfy him. You're always going to be indebted to him, right? So you have to walk away in order to make the right decision, because when you dirty your energy strings with too many people, it's very confusing. You don't even know where it's coming from. And you don't want that secondary, taste in your mouth where there's just other remnants of women around. It's just disrespectful and gross altogether, right? It's gross. It's gross energy. It's dirty energy. It's like, it makes you want to take a shower afterward, and you're like, ugh, So just be careful of that, because this person might be doing that. 4 of Wands. There's definitely a community here that he's doing it in. It's definitely work community based, and there's a lot of love matches or pretend love matches that he does. Knight of Swords. It's just confirming, just being smart, having a good head on your shoulders. The King of Swords, the Knight of Swords. There's a lot of knights popping out. The Hermit and Judgment. Judgment. When all of your actions become judged at the end of time, the end of days, your transformation, whatever you want to call it, you will be judged by your actions, and your karmic retribution will be allotted to you at that point. Were you a good person? Were you coming from a devilish energy? Were you satisfying things that you were feeding into the wrong wolf? At the end of the day, you're going to be judged for that. And whether you were fighting for the darkness or fighting for the light, this is the time that this person will be judged, and that's going to be by you. You judge this person now. The Hermit is really searching from within, right? The Hermit goes within. The Hermit has the star in his lantern, and it's all about inward intuition and going in to kind of do your own work and refocus your energy. Also, refocus where you're sharing your energy. So just, there's a hazardous situation around you in a community. 7 of Cups, exactly. Tricks, and more tricks. Stir in that cup, right? Tricky. It's just too much. It's exhausting. It seems fun. It could seem really fun, but there's a lot of people. The 7 of Cups is all 7 cups have tricks and illusions in them. Everything is a trick. You uncover a cup, it's just too many tricks. What is that? Tricks are for kids. Lovers pops out front and center. So this person is definitely someone that's just like a lover boy. He uses tricks and illusions and just general flirting, to his advantage. A lot of people fall for it. Of course, anyone would at first. But you have to realize that, again, we were talking about hazards before. There's hazardous. There's a lot of, I just see hazard signs in those orange cones everywhere. It's just be wary, because your car might slide and hit a wall. So you might hurt yourself in the process. The Star and the Ace of Wands. This person gives you a lot of energy of, obviously they're attracted to you, and that's all they really talk about, because that's all they can talk about. So people like that will just talk about their attraction and nothing else. If a guy comes up to you and all he does is talk about how oh, you're so pretty, oh, this and that, I wish I could be this, and it's all just these flippant, flirty things and the nothing else. It's fun to have flirty energy and flirty texts. Absolutely. Everyone loves that. But if that's it, and he's not asking you anything else, he's not talking to you about anything else, and all he does is talk to you about that, just take it as it is, right? There might be a little love bombing happening here with that, right? He makes you feel like the star of his life, but meanwhile he's doing it to 7 other cups at the same time. They might be all very close to each other, right? So just be careful, even if you decide to just be more easygoing, you want to call it, yeah, just watch out for the hazards, because you're gonna hit a speed bump. So you have to have your expectations correct because even if you dabble with the devil, just you gotta remember that it's gonna be hazardous in some way. It always is. It's always gonna be hazardous. Nine of Cups, right? You have to go after what you really want. You have to stand by your convictions. Nine of Cups is about getting everything that you've ever wished for, something that would truly make you fulfilled. And if that is the energy that you are holding on to, hold on to that. Don't settle for anything less than that, because once women settle and start playing tricks and Seven of Cups, everything's a facade, everything's surface level. So even if you just want to see if you can even deal with a surface level thing just for fun, that's fine. And if you want to rationalize yourself and think that you're not affected by that, okay. But you will be affected in some way. Everyone always is. There's a string, right? So just be careful how many strings someone has out right now. The Magician, Nine of Cups, the Two of Wands. With the Two of Wands, it's Two of Swords. You're definitely making your money moves, I want to say. You're definitely calling in what you want now with the Magician and the Nine of Cups. And you're making shit happen. Two of Wands and the Two of Swords. You decided and you're taking action. End of story. There's nothing else to talk about, right? Like, you made your decision and you're going forward. End of story. King of Pentacles in the King of Pentacles era. Like just being secure in yourself, being able to stand on your own by yourself, and just knowing what you're getting into. If you want to be in a hazardous relationship because you feel bored, or you just want to try something out, just know that there's always going to be repercussions. There's spiritual residue that comes off of people when you are with them physically. So whether or not you're always into that or someone else is, just remember that other person, this guy, this person, in this devilish energy, he has a lot of spiritual residue. Like, it's cloudy as fuck in there, right? So if you want to go into a smoke-filled room because it's fun for the time being, sure, party it up, have fun, but just know that you're gonna have to clean yourself off spiritually, because there will be some interference happening. It happens with everyone. So if you don't want spiritual consequences, just, be careful, vet who you're with. I mean, it shouldn't be that freaking hard to kind of vet who you're with, Don't jump into bed with the devil so fast, because the devil always wants more. He'll always come back. He'll always be knocking at your door. He'll always be sending you that late night text. Hey, you up? You around? Are you around? Stuff like that. It backfires, on everyone, but he doesn't care, because he just moves on to the next cup, right? It's like giving me the Mad Hatter table when it moved down new cup. He just keeps moving down. He doesn't care, right? So if you want to be in that hazardous momentum with this person, he doesn't have any attachment to anybody. He doesn't have any emotional attachment to anyone. So just be wary of that, and don't think that you're going to be special, because you're not. If you want to get involved in a hazardous situation for fun, great. If you want to kind of stay clear of that because you don't want to pay extra insurance on your life, also great. And also, it keeps you physically safe. It also keeps you spiritually safe, because even if this person doesn't realize what he's doing, you can realize what he's doing, and you can either decide to interact with the party atmosphere for a time being. You can party with him, you can party with the devil if you want. It's not really going to go anywhere, that you think it is. His actions won't stop, it won't really stop anyone. So what you can do is, dip in how you feel, but at the same time, just know what you're doing. King of Swords, know exactly what you're doing, because once you get involved with the Seven of Cups, you're not making your decisions wisely. So if you're looking for the Nine of Cups, and you're really manifesting at this time with the Magician, you have to know how to share your energy wisely, even if it's friendships, coworkers, right? So if this person is in a working situation where it's constantly happening like that, do you want to have all the spiritual strings to everyone in that room? Because it looks like this person has done that. So if that's something that actually makes you excited in life, I would also question yourself and just wonder, why are you attracted to that kind of energy? But at the same time, just know what you're getting into. Just realize that it's just a flirty atmosphere, and if you want to get your strings, you know, a little bit messy, then that's your problem, that's your issue. But just know, over a long-term time, if you do this constantly, it's not going to be good for you. You're going to develop a lot of residue from people's energies, their emotions, their traumas, their spirits that are attached to them. It's just it's a real big gamble, truly. Like, people think it's just a flippant thing, but it's a big gamble to do that. You know, we should be giving more strength and importance to having, you know, sexual relations with anybody. It's like a spiritual act, and it should be taken as such, because there is an exchange of energy constantly. So no matter whether or not this man has his head, you know, in the game, another pun, but like, he's just in it to gameplay, right? And just move down new cup all the time. Even if he thinks he doesn't care and there's no harm, no foul, there's a lot of harm that's happening to both himself and other people. And if you want to put yourself in that situation and feel like you kissed everyone else in the room that he's been with, go for it. But just know what you're doing and be real with yourself.